Hey guys, I know it's been a minute. A lot of things have been going on. First and foremost, let me just say I was dealing with COVID, which at the time I didn't know I had COVID. I kind of found out shortly after the fact that it was COVID that I was dealing with. So I'm good. The only thing I'm working on now is getting my win back. Um, Last time I tried to do a video, I couldn't get through a sentence or two or sentence and a half without having to like take deep breaths. You know, that was the hardest part I would say about that. At least the video making process, which is why I just after that one video, I was just like, you know what, let me just put this to the side. I'm not gonna even try until I'm back good. So I'm back good. But I know it's been a minute, and so I've missed a lot. There's not a lot of analysis that have happened on these games. Matter of fact, the last one I really did was Zoe and them losing to Golden State, which was about 2 weeks ago. So I know a lot has happened, um, and I'm going to talk about some of that, not necessarily all in this video, but I do have plans for things to kind of make up for some of that. Hell, even as far as the games, I have not seen any of those games, any of them. Even last night, I watched a little bit of the Toronto game, probably like half of the first quarter, and then I had other stuff going on that I, wasn't able to finish watching. I will eventually go back and watch those games. While I may not do necessary commentary on those, I think it's kind of late anyway. I will maybe give you a summation of certain things that I peeped or things that I've noticed. Hell, I'm going to do some of that right now, not necessarily with that stint of games, but I just kind of wanted to lead this off by letting you guys know what was going on and why I haven't been around and everything. And I do apologize to you guys about that. I probably should have just, hey, I'm out, blah, blah, blah. Even though I kind of did let y'all know, but I probably should have done it in a better way. I'll try to be better about that in the future going forward. But, wow, that's like 2.5 minutes. But yeah, so a lot of stuff is going on, right? Obviously Zoe is out. Caruso is back out due to the Grayson Allen thing. Um, Derek Jones Jr. just hurt his pinky, so he's well, finger. I don't know what finger it is, but he hurt a finger. He's going to be out. Basically, this Bulls team is going to be 6 to 8 weeks from coming back. And Zoe is not scheduled to get his surgery until tomorrow. So, 6 to 8 weeks from tomorrow is when we can expect some of these guys back. With that being said, Patrick Williams, there was news that came out about him. He will probably be back before the regular season ends. So we're going to have him for the postseason. By the way, I have content about Pat Will that I need to make and put out there because I'm not going to say my opinion about Pat Will has changed, but my view on him has changed based on what the organization seems like they're going to do. And again, my viewpoint on him is based strictly right now as of what the front office is going to do and what I think is best for the team. Uh, as far as the team in general, look, let me talk about Vooch real quick. Here's the thing about Vooch, and I want to make sure my camera's dead set on me for this. So, let me talk about the Bulls' defense first. I guess that's where I really need to attack this at. The Bulls' defense is predicated really on the point of attack man taking pressure off of Vooch because he's such a shit athlete, like physically, and his recovery speed is terrible. So what they did was they had the point of attack man fight through the screens and try to get back and get in front of their man while having Vooch play in drop coverage. So he would retreat, rim protect, so he doesn't, like if a guy like De'Aaron Fox in a pick and roll situation gets past a Zoe or Caruso, he might go straight to the rim and attack if Vooch was up there trying to defend him. But Because of it, you take away that part of it, and it's just strictly, okay, let me make the best decision based on what I'm getting, which puts him in a better position to defend. Well, that's great when you have those guys there, but now you don't. And so you have Io, and you just got Javonte Green back, but none of those guys are Caruso, okay? And it makes it extremely difficult now because even if you do it, you're basically putting Vooch in a situation where, yes, he may still be in drop. Hell, the whole team is probably playing drop. If I go look at the tape, I'm almost sure they're playing drop. But here's the thing. You get that guard that comes and attack the rim, Vooch has to step up. The big is still going to go and attack the rim. He's got to make a decision. He's going to go with the ball handler. Athletic big just alley-oop pass every time, you know. And if he decides to, hold off on the big, easy free lane layups. This is compounded by the fact you got guys like Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, and hobbled Zach LaVine. Yes, he's hobbled. He's not 100%. He really shouldn't be playing. He really should be trying to nurse his wounds. But Zach is gonna Zach. He's gonna try to be that guy. He's gonna try to go out there, show everybody, yes, he's a good leader, and he's gonna play through whatever. Hopefully he doesn't get more hurt. But you're talking about a bunch of guys who suck at point of attack or just not that good or good enough yet in Io's case, although he's serviceable. You're trying to get those guys to defend and limit defensive pick and roll attack from the point of attack and cover for Vooch. It's just not going to happen. So we're in these pick and roll situations. It's going to cause us problems, and it had been showing even when Zoe and Caruso were missing from in the beginning. Yes, we won those games because of DeRozan, because of Zach LaVine, and because either Vooch or somebody else on the bench showed up and had a big game, be it Kobe or Io at the time offensively, and that helped carry us. But you're still giving up 115, 120 points. It's not good. It's just not. And here's the other part, and this is my fear. We're going to sit here and have guys like wing defenders where you're going to have to put, because, okay, they had Pascal guarded by Javonte Green. And y'all know I like Javonte. But fucking mismatch, okay? Javonte got no business on those kind of guys. But it is what it is. What if we get the Celtics, all right? And you got Tatum and JB, right? One of the wings is going to have to defend him. So you're going to have, okay, so you might put Javonte on Tatum. So JB is going to have to play Zach or DeRozan likely man up. If it's DeRozan, we already know he don't play defense. So you're saying DeRozan and Vooch in the pick and roll defense? I've been saying this even with Zoe and Caruso healthy. That is the worst possible outcome that you could have on the court. Worst possible outcome. And we're going to constantly see that Vooch's feet are going to get attacked by good teams. They're going to know, well, if they don't have good point of attack defense, bam. Which is going to lead to other teams that are going to start shooting better from the perimeter. Because Zoe and Caruso could also run those guys off the line. They can put a lot of pressure on these guys. They're not going to get that kind of pressure. Io can kind of, like I said, he's serviceable in that way. And so I don't want to necessarily group him in with the others. And this is not talking about Troy Brown Jr. and a couple other guys off the bench. But I don't want to group him in necessarily with them because he is a solid defender. But he's also lacking experience. He's also lacking size. And those things do show up and eventually bite you in the ass as a rookie. Go look at rookie Zoe versus Zoe from this year. Tremendous difference from 19 to age 24. Tremendous difference. Even though Io's like 21, tremendous difference. He'll be a much better player in 3 years, especially NBA experience. But ultimately, this is going to cause problems for this defense, and I'm pretty sure we all have seen it especially in the games where Zach wasn't here too, along with Javante. This team's just terrible. It was just terrible on defense. This is going to be a problem in the playoffs. Now, from what it seems, there's constantly jibber jabber reports. Oh, well, this guy's available. Oh, well, Acme is not willing to trade. Blah blah blah. I think this is certain agents and teams putting this information out so that they can try to test the market or get the market going a certain direction. Now, the one thing that came out that I do agree with and I do think is true is the Pat Will thing where they said they're not really trying to get rid of him. And I believe it. I believe it. Matter of fact, let me say something here, and I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. Because I'm still on the trade Pat Will bandwagon. But I want to make sure this is 1,000% clear. If we are not getting a certifiable all-star talent, and I'm talking about someone that takes this team from first, second round playoff exit to championship contender, no, that's not Jeremy Grant. No, that's not Christian Wood. If we're not getting something above that level, I'm talking Ben Simmons level. And I'm not saying you trade him for Ben Simmons. But for what Ben Simmons brings to a team, yes, and Ben Simmons has been a proven all-star. I don't care what people feel about him. I'm still a fan of Ben Simmons. He can play the fucking game of basketball. If we are not getting a talent on that level, you do not trade Pat Will. Under no circumstance do you just throw Pat Will away for, some bullshit. I'm just going to keep it real. You do not trade him for some bullshit. Especially if this is a guy that you drafted and you feel strongly about, you don't trade him for some bullshit. So, as far as Pat Will is concerned, unless it's Pascal, in my opinion, or an OG Anunoby kind of player, and Pascal and OG, I think, were on that. I know OG, I know Pascal was. I'm not sure about OG. I think OG was on the championship team. Pascal started. I'm okay with swapping those two. I'm okay with that. Because Pascal addresses the need. Pascal is a proven commodity. He has length. He can score. He plays defense. Hell, he can even be a point guard. We saw the other night if you paid attention to him. If it's not somebody at the lowest level, him, John Collins, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any trade unless it's someone on that level or above. And they have to be a power forward. We cannot be getting guys back that are guards or could play, guard. No. I'm not trying to hear that. If we're going to trade Pat Will, damn it, it better be for a straight up dog at power forward. By the way, Julius Randle became available. Hint, hint, word, word. I'm not saying go get him, but just putting this out here. Apparently, Julius Randle is available for the right price. Julius Randle can work on this team. I'm not sure if that's the kind of guy you bring in. So this is very touchy. So when I mention a guy like Julius Randle, I'm not saying we for sure go get him, but the talent is there. So if you can go get a guy, notice everybody I mentioned is a two-way player of some sort. You might say, well, Julius ain't been playing defense this year. I got it. Julius don't like New York right now for good reason. I'm not saying that, okay, he would instantly come here and start playing defense again. But the talent is there at that position. For all intents and purposes, Julius is probably a top 5, 10, 7, somewhere power forward in the league. Just like Pascal is. Though guys like that, John Collins, same thing. Those are the kind of guys that you would trade a Pat Will for. Now, again, I'm not saying, hey, don't go out there and say Jay Stroke said trade Pat Will for Julius Randle. I'm just giving you a talent level. I'll let you decide. Although if we did get the trade for Pascal, I'd do that shit in a heartbeat. But if it's not for a guy like that, whatever. We keep Pat Will, we keep it moving. Now, as it pertains to that, let me be real with you guys. This team is not a championship contender, and I've said this before. I just want to reiterate, nothing has changed my opinion. In fact, it is further cemented that this team is not championship level. Look, since they've been out, this team has been wildly inconsistent. By them being out, I mean Caruso. Wildly inconsistent, okay? And you need both Lonzo and Caruso because they provide way too much. Again, these toolbox players, man. All these cats that play defense, and yes, to be a toolbox player to me, you must have defense. And I'm gonna start to, as time goes on, I'm gonna further define this, okay? But to be a toolbox player, you gotta play defense, okay? Well, I suppose you don't have to, but for me, to be the kind of toolbox I want, you gotta play defense. Caruso fits that, Lonzo fits that. These kind of players just shift games. They truly just shift games. They potentially can shift series. For me, my opinion, even with them, this team has too many holes. So I would have thought if you had told me a year ago, DeRozan and Vooch, along with a solid-ish supporting cast, I would have said, okay, they can win some games. After watching this shit, and what I mean by watching is looking at the final outcome of the games, I don't think that to be the case anymore. And take this into consideration. They're basically Caruso. They're the exoskeleton of this team's defense. You pull that out. Like Mortal Kombat Fatality. You pull that shit out. What's left? Really nothing. I mean, you got some parts here and there, but they really do a lot of holding this team together defensively. So you may say, okay, well, how the hell are they able to win games? They're going to win games just off of the strength of DeRozan and Zach LaVine alone. Those two alone will get you wins. Okay. Look at it this way. Look at them like the Boston Celtics with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Those two are able to win games, and I know they've been kind of a 50-ish win team, 50% win team, 50-50, 500, whatever you want to call it. But that's still 500. That's still, not too much either way. Same thing here. At the very least, they're going to be a 500 win team, but they got more than enough to be better than a 500 team, which means we'll still have a winning record. We'll still win games just off of their sheer talent, okay? Then you got a guy like Kobe coming off the bench who can erupt at any moment's notice. By the way, y'all notice how they put that nigga back on the bench and let Ayo stay starting? There's a reason for that. Defense. Toolbox. Just saying. But Billy Donovan knows. Because if otherwise he would have just started Kobe. He was like, nah, we got enough scoring out there. You sit your ass on the bench. Ayo, you run offense. I got stuff to talk about with that too. That'll come in another day, another video. But what I'm saying here is the Bulls ultimately, they're at a weird place. I don't know right now if there's a move on the market that I would be like instantly puts them as a contender. And I say this because I'm going to be honest with y'all. The only real contenders, Golden State and Phoenix, Brooklyn, Miami, and the Bucks. Those are the real contenders. Everybody else is below them. Which, other than the Lakers, who I thought would be better than they are, that's about who I foreseen being really good this year. Those were pretty much the contenders. Um, like I said, unless they, it might not be one move that the Bulls make. They may need to make two or three. Are the moves available? I don't really know. Derrick Jones being hurt, a team would have to take a risk. This was the last year of his contract, so that's like a fucked up ass asset. So a team would be trading for him, and he won't be able to play until like the end of March, and then he's a free agent. You see what I'm saying? Don't make sense. Like it doesn't look like he's getting moved. Kobe could get moved, but with all the bodies hurt, do you really want to give him away? I don't know. And so, what else do you have? Vooch, but his value is shit. So, do you give away DeRozan? Probably not. Although I would, but probably not. Not gonna give away Zach LaVine. Okay, he's the reason you got all these guys. He did the recruiting. He's your guy. He's got to stay. So, what are your options? Javonte Green, Troy Brown Jr. Pat Will is still pretty, like, you could go trade Pat Will. There's teams that want him. Trust me, there's teams that want him. But you see what I'm saying? They're out of assets, man. They don't have the picks. They don't have anything that anybody would want because that Portland pick keeps recycling until like 2026 or 2028 or whatever, and then it becomes a second round pick if it doesn't confirm. So it's just kind of like it might not even be a first, and there's no guarantee you're going to get it. And so this is where we're at. This is where we're at. See, this is why I wanted to make moves ahead of time when everybody was healthy, COVID protocols there. You can make moves, you can get the things that you needed, and then move on. You can't do it now. So this is looking like we're going to have off-season part 2, where everything is going to be done in the off-season, and you're just going to wait and see what this team looks like. There's some things that will open up for you. Vooch will be on the last year of his deal. Obviously, he'll be looking for something. But I think the Joker contract ends at the same time as Vooch's. Arturis, he's the one that drafted Joker. So maybe, and I think that's truly what their plan was. I think they wanted to swap Vooch for the Joker at some point, like come up with like some kind of trade deal, get some assets, and then eventually say, here, we'll give you Vooch, we'll give you Pat Will, we'll give you 2 firsts, and give us the Joker, because he's not going to resign. And I think there's some backdoor like phone calls like, hey man, keep your mind on the Bulls, keep your mind on the Bulls. That's just my opinion. But as it stands, man, look, I don't expect much. Even when Zoe and Caruso come back, Caruso a little bit less because he can still work out. It's just his hand. Yeah, he had his surgery and everything's good. He might be on a minutes restriction. I doubt it. Zoe gonna be on a minutes restriction. Pat Will probably a minutes restriction too. Derrick Jones, because it's his finger. I don't know. It's likely all of them could be on a minutes restriction. And depending on when they come back will determine how many games they're going to actually get in shape to be able to play properly in the postseason. Along with the dangers that exist for Zoe surgery, which is yet to happen. Because we won't know what they're going to do to his leg until they get in there and actually see it and then can make the decision on the best, judgment call to repair it. Which is scary because it could affect the rest of his career. But this is where we're at. And it's not pretty. And I was so sure we were going to get 60 wins this year. That's up in flames. That shit, out. It's not gonna work out. Just like that didn't. I hope that made you laugh. But anyways, I'm back, guys. I'm gonna start back doing videos. I don't even know when the next Bulls game is. I don't even know who it's against. I might wait one more game before I get back to doing post game analysis. I'll eventually let y'all know. But I'm glad to be back doing videos. I'm glad to be back healthy and able to do what I love to do. So I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Peace.